Hey everyone, I'm back with another video. This is video number 18. We're still in the symbolic universe. I'm still at the University of New Mexico, so again, I apologize for the less formal apparel. So we're still in the symbolic universe, and today we're talking about the fourth type of symbol that we're going to deal with. These are fictional symbols. I told you this was going to get a little bit deeper. The framing question that I want to use today is, why do you do what I say? I have you guys watching these videos, doing certain readings. You don't want to do either of those things. You are going to be taking tests, you're going to be doing DB responses, writing reflections, none of which you want to do. And we talked about the fact that, of course, you step into society and then there are certain thoughts and behaviors that are going to be produced from you as a raw material. Right now we're getting into part of the mechanics of that. So the answer to this is going to be because you and I both believe in a particular fictional symbol. Fiction not meaning fake, but fiction meaning something that was invented. A work of fiction, a novel, is not fake. It's something that was invented from somebody's imagination. The thing that's trippy about this is, from a sociological perspective, every organization that you are a part of is something that was invented. If you think about you taking a perspective from way above the ecosystem, looking down, you don't see organizations. What you see are buildings and people and cars and roads and stuff like that. Organizations only exist because somebody imagined them into existence, and then a whole bunch of other people said, yeah, I'll go with that. So the university that we're both a part of, at some point somebody said, we should have a college. And then a whole bunch of other people went, all right, and they all believed in it. But the whole reason that we're at a university together is because you and I both believe in its existence. Okay, so that's kind of the big dive into the deep end. This video is going to have four main points. I'm going to try to get through them quickly. First point is going to be a definition of fictional symbol. Second point is going to be the two types that we're going to deal with. Today we're dealing with organizations, but there's a second type that we'll deal with in the next video. Third is why we have these, which is kind of the part that's going to tie everything together. And fourth is going to be the creepy part where we talk about what's the effect they have on you as an individual. Okay, so first point, fictional symbols. They are very simply things we imagined into existence and then act as though they are real. So our university is something that we have imagined into existence. It doesn't exist in nature, but then we all act as though it's real. The fact that we have corporations, sports teams, all of that stuff, any organization that you can think of is a manifestation of somebody's imagination, which is kind of a weird thing to think about because we're so used to thinking of organizations as being sturdy things. And I mean, really importantly, even the United States of America is something that's imagined into existence. There's no United States of America in nature. But this also illustrates what I mean by the difference between fictional and fake. Just because the United States of America is fictional doesn't mean there aren't real consequences for you violating its laws, right? The United States of America is something we imagined into existence, but since we all believe it's real, it has a real effect on us. Okay, so first point, that definition. Things we imagined into existence and then act as though they are real. The two types we're going to deal with, very simple. First one is organizations. We're going to deal with that in this video. Second one is money, which is going to be, I mean, money, I think, makes more intuitive sense to us that it's fictional because when you think about swiping your credit card through something, it's absolutely, I mean, what a strange, like, fake way of paying for something. Somebody gives you something and you swipe a piece of plastic. But because we all believe in what that represents, and because you believe in it, the store owner believes in it, the bank believes in it, the people who create the electronic networks all believe in it, we make it real. Okay, but we'll get to money next time. So the two types, organizations and money. Third, Why? And this is the part where we tie it all together. Um, Fictional symbols help us cooperate in groups of more than 100. Remember when we talked about our species, we talked about the fact that we as Homo sapiens are social pack animals, but our packs only exist at about the level of 100. And there's a reason for that. Human beings can get to know with some degree of intimacy, really enough intimacy to be able to trust other people, about 100 people. That is the sort of, I mean, and 100 is about. That is the level at which we can't know people beyond that, more than that, well enough to trust them. Which means if we cannot figure out a different way of creating a basis for trust, we can't build anything that would incorporate more than 100 people. But I mean, think about the university that we're at. We're in thousands, right? So we had to figure out a way of getting past that 100. And if you think about our relationship, you don't know me at all. I don't know you at all. We don't have any reason to trust each other. And yet we're cooperating to create your education, or at least a small part of it. The reason that we can cooperate is because you and I both believe in this university. And because we're doing that, we have a reason to trust each other. It's like we imagine this thing into existence. We both say, yeah, I believe in it, and I trust you because you also believe in it. And that allows us to cooperate. It's kind of an amazing, I mean, as far as we know, other species don't do this. So it's kind of an amazing occurrence if you think about one animal species who was able to imagine fake or fictional things into existence and then cooperate on the basis of them. It's kind of an incredible invention. And to that point, so right now I am recording this on a MacBook. The whole reason this MacBook exists, and the whole reason that whatever technology you're watching, whatever the piece of material culture that you're using to watch this, the whole reason it exists is because a whole bunch of people said, yeah, we're gonna imagine into existence this thing called Apple. And Apple is going to be an organization that creates cool products. And then everybody said, well, there isn't an Apple right now, but okay, I'll believe in that, and I will come and contribute to creating these pieces of material culture because you said this fictional thing exists, and I decided I'm going to believe in it too. Whatever organization, whatever corporation built the technology that you're using right now, this is the result of people believing in something fictional and then the effect that it has, the cooperation that it creates. Remember, human beings were around for, several 100,000 years before we started inventing any of the amazing stuff. But we were also limited to groups of 100. It's only when we develop the capacity for inventing fictions like this, that we're able to create cooperation networks that are bigger than 100 that allow us to create all of this amazing stuff. I'm going to pause right there just to say, this is flat out amazing to think that an animal species was able to do this. Okay, I got to scroll down a little bit, so bear with me. We are, I believe, on to our fourth point. Okay, our fourth point, which is the creepier part, which is what it affects. Okay, so first of all, obviously it affects our behavior. Why do you do what I say? Because you believe in this university. You believe in its existence. Therefore, you believe that I have a right to be able to tell you what to do, and you do it. If I'm just some guy on the street talking about sociology and I tell you, hey, watch a bunch of my videos and read some stuff, and then I'm going to ask you questions, there's no way you're doing that. The whole basis of our relationship is our mutual belief in this fiction, and it affects your behavior. Again, so that, first of all, that. Second of all, in the bigger context, we see now these behaviors, you getting inserted into the machine, and these behaviors being produced. Part of that is the existence of fictional symbols organizations. Okay, so we see that with behavior, it's easy. But it also affects our thoughts. Right now in America, we're in this really contentious political time. Republicans tend to believe that anything the mainstream media says about Trump is probably a lie. Democrats tend to believe that anything Trump does is crooked. Now, I want you to think about that. It seems to be that what determines whether you believe that Trump is being lied about or whether you believe Trump is lying depends on which fictional symbol, which organization you happen to feel a connection to. If I am a Republican, my thoughts are influenced by my taking part in that organization, Republicans. If I am a Democrat, my thoughts are influenced by the fact that I am a member of this organization. It seems to be the organizations that are influencing here the particular thoughts that we have. Okay, so behaviors and thoughts. And where it gets even creepier and deeper is into the level of feelings. Now again, I said this before, I keep referring to them as the inside out feelings. If you don't remember the reference to the Pixar movie. Those emotions are present and have the potential to be expressed in any number of ways. The way they get channeled, at least in part in our society, is because of what organization you happen to feel connection to. Think about if you are a Republican, your anger that happens when you hear the mainstream media talking about Donald Trump. Now, that anger is just a natural part of being a human being, but it's being channeled in particular ways because of the membership that you have in that particular organization. Same thing's true of the Democratic Party, right? Democrats hear Trump say something and they get so angry about it. And again, the anger is a natural human response, but it is being channeled through the particular organization. So through something that, again, is fictional. Fictional, but real. All right, that's good. That's good. We nailed all four of those things. In summary, fictional symbols of organizations being the first type of fictional symbol that we're dealing with, allow us to cooperate beyond 100 people. That's the whole reason that we invented them. Second major point that I want you to take away, there were four before, but two parts of this summary. First part was cooperation. Second part is that they affect our thinking, our behavior, and our feelings. So again, this is going to kind of be a refrain throughout the class. It's not that you should say, well, then forget it, I'm not going to be a part of a political party. You should make whatever choice you want. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. The only thing I want to suggest is that you be aware that these fictional symbols are part of the water that we swim in. They are circumstances that you did not get to choose when you started to create the life that you have. But they play a big role. And if you want to understand, if you want to be, I guess, a little bit more in control of the way your life is going, just be aware of the fact that, okay, these things were invented, we were imagined into existence, but they have a real effect on me. And to the extent that they have an effect that you're not aware of, you're kind of being pushed around by the currents of the water that you live in. So awareness is the first step to being able to kind of create the life that you want to have. Okay, that's it for this video. I will be back in the next one to talk about money.